Someone has to make the bed. No one has the right to tell you to lie down when all is said. You fight the stereotype, the polarizing picture shades of gray. From each one you get blamed gasoline.
Another day, another camera the mutt just couldn't help but get behind. Let's see. Let's check out the mutt on our little side trek through the documents. All right? Yeah. Little side trip, right? To the mutt. Not the wolf, the mutt.
The murdered students' families.
Here we go.
And that brings me once again
to the mutt. Hi.
The horrors on King Road. Steve, thank you so much for taking the time. So,
where's the earring?
It doesn't look
I don't know.
like the crime scene photos
Where's the
on
earring?
this current batch of documents.
Hollywood, baby.
Do you plan to fight the release if and when that time comes?
Yeah, I believe all the families have let that be known to the prosecuting team that that's not anything that we were interested in. And we've been worried that we would see those leaked at any time when you had like certain stories and certain things been leaked since the very beginning. We were afraid that we'd wake up one morning and that might be on TV.
Yeah, Steve, I know there are people out there who want full transparency. They want to get every single aspect of this case. I do not see the value of that. I think this is painful.
Because you're an idiot.
It's disgusting. But
you're an idiot.
People out there
you're an idiot.
Who want full transparency about this. Say, I don't even know what the argument would be to see that.
Cover up.
What would be your response?
Because it was a cover up, idiot.
You don't get that. Those are our children. And we're not settling for that type of thing. And I think it encourages.
Here we go.
I mean, you got a whole show.
Got to put the pictures up, guys, just to tug at your heartstrings.
And, that's one thing that I think we show a little bit too much of, and I hope that we can give these kids some dignity, and we don't have to go there.
Is there anything else in the current batch of documents that you plan to fight the release of?
No, they asked us about the toxicology report after we got that. We said we didn't care. The autopsies, some others wanted to keep that, and I understand that. That has it has like a injury by injury write-ups, so it's pretty gruesome. So those are the ones that we were. I think that'll be the last one that we really will try to keep close to the chest.
And it's good to know that, as you said, that the family seems to be on the same page with this. I mean, there is this argument right out there, putting aside crime scene photos. The public wants to know as much as possible about why these children were killed.
Why? How? How were they killed in 8 minutes with one person and a cleanup, leaving a witness alive, the prime suspect, all the... Yeah, we need full transparency because there was a gigantic cover-up.
And the question becomes, do you think the public has a right to know all the details of the case? Again, putting aside the crime scene photos, do you think the public has a right to know all of this?
Yeah.
I think the public should demand that 100%.
Yeah.
Sometimes the courtroom doesn't realize that there is no courtroom without victims, and they need to represent them people and the community. The community has the right to know that they're arresting the right people, and the punishment is correct. And I think that
that's true. The public has a right to know that the right people were arrested. Good job, Steve. Too bad you can't see that in this one.
The prosecution here purposely hid the facts of what happened to these kids to try to get all the parents to be in silos and not unite and force them to do the right thing, force them to have a capital case. They never had that. That's why they didn't tell the kids what really happened to our kids. They hid that from us because they knew that could be a riling cry for all the parents to get on the same page.
Yeah, well, he said they had no death penalty case. So yeah, but he's in denial. But he's sticking in some correct circuits, though. Yes, they never did have a death penalty case. In fact, their case was so fucking weak that Ann Taylor should never practice law again, ever. Hey, Ann Taylor, you should trade in your lawyer license right now and become a Moscow, Idaho baker and a part-time whatever. This was one of the easiest cases you could probably try. There's no evidence.
I want to talk about that in a minute, and as well as Bill Thompson and current.
All circumstantial bullshit that could easily been refuted by a competent defense team.
He's making, but Steve, when I look at you, I interview victims' family members all the time, and you think about what they have to go through when the crime first happens, what they have to go through when there is a trial, what they have to go through the grieving process for the rest of their lives. But you're in this unfortunately unique position where this case has been amplified. And I wonder for you, how difficult is it knowing that you are going to have to deal with these document releases?
What's wrong with your face?
That the story doesn't end with Koberger getting shipped away, that now it's about the release of information and trying to protect your daughter and the other victims. Well, how difficult is it?
Ideology, moderation bites the dust in your bonnet, and a wasp right up the bum. Couch hammer under thumb, ear splitting Twitter thunder, but too many opinions, and a tomcat by the tail. Carrying the Senate's team, right or left, no in between.
Better. They could have easily done better than this. This trickle effect of, the case is over. Let it out. Stand by what your decisions are, and the information comes out. I know you have to.
Is it really over, Steven?
It's called control find replace. We do it at work all the time. It's not a big deal. We can replace. We can get through these docs real easy. So yeah.
What are you talking about?
I think they got to do a better job. And this trickle thing's been going on the whole time, and it was torture. It was absolute torture.
Here we go, more pictures.
They kind of wore us out.
Grab the heartstrings.
Strategy that we knew that the defense was going to do was to try to push this out, try to make it as far away from our homes, try to make it as inconvenient as possible, and they had success for that, and in the end, they were rewarded.
Maddie and Kaylee.
How has communication been with the prosecutor's office regarding document releases?
The fish market.
Once the
Hey, that could be my house. No.
When we wanted to get all the discovery,
Master Nature don't lie.
We'd have to go through the federal FOIA request. They weren't going to help us in any way. They did actually help us with one. They did help us with the death certificate, the autopsy. They gave us that. That was given to us on a thumb drive. But other than that, we had to go through the official channels like everyone else. And when you guys are hearing about it, you're hearing about it before we are.
That is disgusting. I'm saying that in my opinion. That is so terrible.
So is this one.
By the way, so we're talking about the prosecution. So Bill Thompson has been speaking out about the case. A, what do you make of that? And B, do you agree with this theory that he's put out that Brian Koberger broke into the house before the murders?
What?
Yeah, we spoke with some FBI profilers, and that's where we kind of came to the conclusion that this person had been looking at this house and had probably tested that backslide.
Wait a minute. You mean back in 2021? Is that what you mean? FBI profilers? Hey, where's that suspect who's running around breaking into, I don't know, off-campus sorority houses with 4 females in them with a knife? Who's that character? Ain't Brian Koberger.
Probably been in that house multiple times and maybe even attempted to hide in a closet. Those type of things.
Well. You're not too far off. But you have the wrong person, my friend. Oh yeah, there was hiding. I'm thinking under that little closet underneath the stairs, like that kind of hiding. But you have the wrong person, first of all. And in this case, there were multiple people. So, Steve, I don't know.
Known about that, and they thought maybe possibly this individual brought a kill kit, things to go in there. Because anybody who goes into a house and goes through those scenarios is going to be very well planned. And
oh, guys, these people, they're either in denial. They just don't give a shit. They just want to run with the mainstream narrative, so they don't care. Whatever, right? But this denial is so bad. Now we hear, okay, here we go with a kill kit again, right? Yeah, he was well prepared. No, he wasn't. No. Look, there is no lone wolf. And the lone wolf didn't have a kill kit, okay? The lone wolf is not going to leave a witness alive. The lone wolf is not going to stick around and clean up phantom bloody footprints, or just one, by Dylan Morton's door. Okay? He's not doing that. So who's doing it, Steve? Dylan is in the house. Bethany is in the house. What are they doing, Steve? And who are their friends, Steve? Who is G, Steve? Who is little G? Who is big G? Who is Jack Showalter? Yeah. See, denial. Doesn't want to admit it.
And there's a little tree line out there. He could have put some of those things like a backpack or
right.
some mitigating things like plastic, some other type of things. He could have left them out there.
Sure, like plastic that nobody found. Nobody found any plastic. Nobody found any tarps on the ground with blood on them. Nobody found any kill kit. Okay? Nobody went into that house wearing Vans sneakers. Idiot! Again, who is wearing Vans sneakers? Who? Say it. Say her name. Say her name. Her name is Dylan Mortensen. Brian Kohlberger is not going into a house that he's unfamiliar with the lights on, in Vans fucking sneakers, and a ski mask. That's ridiculous. The whole image is retarded, dumb.
I mean, he even wrote about how he would prevent a crime scene from being contaminated.
Oh my God.
So you can anticipate.
Oh my God. These people are so brainwashed. They are so brainwashed.
He actually did in that crime scene, and
so brainwashed. It's really kind of sad, actually, guys, to see how brainwashed he really is. It seems like he actually believes that. But all it takes is a little bit of logical thinking, and you can see that doesn't make any sense, but this guy cannot do that. I don't know. You can call that grief, whatever you want to call it, but that is major denial. Unless he's lying, which he is prone to do, it seems like he genuinely believes this guy has no logic. There's no logical thinking with this clown. Look at the button nose. You know what I'm saying? And look at this guy. He's like, what should I have tonight for dinner? Don't cry about it, all right? I don't want you to see you crying, all right? It's got to be French toast with a side of tonga my shlonga. Oh, my God. Yeah, don't cry. Oh, my God.
They were a little bit scared to have to go to bat against him, so they took the easy way out.
That's right. They were scared. They were scared to go to bat. That's true, Steve. You're right. They were scared. They didn't have a case, Steve. It should have went to trial, Steve. He should have been acquitted, Steve. And Ann Taylor right now should not be practicing law anymore. Ann Taylor needs to get out of the law business. She totally effed her client. She totally effed Brian Kohlberger. Totally effed him. The prosecution's case was so weak that a semi-competent defense attorney with a couple people could have easily dismantled this because they have no evidence. The prosecutor said himself, we couldn't put Brian Kohlberger at the scene of the crime. Guess what that means? It means we don't have a case. Oh, my God. And yes, he did say that, by the way.
Really, they did. But going back to the point,
Inverse Santa.
Thompson going out there and speaking about the case, do you object to that? How do you feel about it?
Aren't you doing it?
I prefer that you just be quiet. I mean, I want to hear from the officers. I want to hear about the people who actually did their job. I really don't want to hear about a guy who, called into work, talked to a coworker and said, hey, let's make a deal. Let's be done. I don't feel like working. Do you not feel like working?
Ooh, I love it.
Went home and they got their summers back.
Oh, I love it, Steve. Hey, I like you. Hey, Steve, when you're on and criticizing Inverse Santa, I love it. Keep going. But then the rest of your stuff is garbage. You have to work on better material. Okay? Better material, Steve. You have to break your denial, Steve. Once you break your denial, you will be a powerful ally in this community. You realize that? If you can break through your denial, you could be a very powerful ally here. But we'll see if that ever happens. You know what? Maybe he can't go that far, though, because he may be next on that list. You never know. And now from a word from our sponsor. Let's go.
They were a little bit scared to have to go to bat against him, so they took the easy way out.
And they had so much evidence against him.
Yeah, that's why they were so scared. Who's this who's this idiot?
Object to that? How do you feel about it?
That's because he was so scared. He's so scared.
I prefer that he just be quiet. I mean, I want to hear from the officers. I want to hear about the people who actually did their job. I really don't want to hear about a guy who, called into work, talked to a coworker, and said, "Hey, let's make a deal. Let's be done." I don't feel like working. Do you not feel like working? They came up with a plea deal, and they went home, and they got their summers back. So that's not who I think we should be talking to. We should be talking to the FBI and the prosecutors and the boots and the men and women that actually helped put this case together. There's some really neat.
Hey, Steve. Now, this is a message to Steve G. Steve, if you happen to run across my video and you just happen to run across me, right? I want you to, if you're watching this, if you ever watch this, what would the chances of that be, right? But I'm just saying, how do I put this, Mr. Steve? Now, you're the mutt. However, you could change that if you would stop being in denial. See, some of your ideas are in the right place, and some of your ideas are good. However, you got the wrong person, my friend. There are multiple perpetrators in this case. Logic will dictate that to you. Okay? So you must break through your denial. If you can do that, and you can come on one of these stupid programs and say, you know what? I'm starting to think that there was more than one person involved here. Well, guess what? Now you're not the mutt anymore. You're something totally different. You'd probably be a lion. We'd probably call you Steve G. the Lion. Because all we need is one parent to come out from this thing and say, you know what? This whole case is completely ridiculous. Now, you don't have to say that necessarily, but we need somebody to come out, parent, and say, you know what? Looking through what I know or whatever, there's no way one person could have done this. That's all we need. That is all we need, Mr. Steve, and you could be the lion forever. But right now, you're still the mutt.
They need people, Hawthorne Labs, the IGG, all those things that they put together. I think those things should be highlighted. But Thompson, he's the last one who should really be talking about what he didn't do.
Yeah.
Interesting you say that. I want to play you something. This is former prosecutor, friend of the show, Matt Murphy. Listen to what he had to say.
Oh, God, no. Matt Murphy.
Prosecutor, I've got a lot of problems.
Yeah.
I got a problem with his media tour right now, where he's talking about how, what was the quote? Sorry, I got notes here.
Oh God.
Yeah.
No.
Give some immediate
Hey. Dark Night of the Scarecrow. Look at that. Oh my God. Oh my God. We could put her out in the fucking field and the crows would still pick out our corn. Look at that. Oh my God. Well, I don't know. That could go either way, depending on the crow. But now let's think about this. You're a crow, right? Would that scare you? Or would you be like, I could probably still eat the corn, I guess. Corn woman! Oh my God.
we're please and relieve that the community and the victims' families aren't going to have to live through this. That's pretty tone deaf. The families never get over this.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. I agree with this guy.
That applies to every single murder case.
Yeah.
So it's like, what is the?
Yeah.
Do we just give everybody a deal now so you don't put
True.
the family through the case?
That's true.
And by the way, having watched Olivia Gonzalez, that woman,
well, she's a cow.
Ripped into Koberger, I guarantee was not afraid of the process or facing Koberger in the penalty phase. And it's like, and this is crass, so I hate to say this, but if I'm allowed to swear, I keep thinking of Dave Chappelle's quote. Yeah, we could do it that way, Mr. Prosecutor. We could just give everybody a friggin' deal. Or you could shut the up because you are undermining I think, the integrity of a lot of death penalty cases in the 27 states.
Well, he undermined this entire case from the very beginning because he had no evidence. But he decided to still pursue Brian Koberger. And so that's not being a prosecutor. The prosecutor, his job is to see what facts are before him and then determine, right, if this case is viable. It's not to make up things and to just cut our own puzzle pieces here to try to fit the puzzle. That's not the job of a prosecutor. That's why he is the evil Santa Claus here. Yeah, Bill Thompson. No. What facts are already present and do we have a case? It's not the opposite way around. You fucking idiot. People on the other side of the wall. That's what it's supposed to be like. And this guy is kind of saying that in some ways.
And the federal system that still have it, by essentially, you've got this example that everybody's heard of. If the death penalty does not apply to Brian Koberger, who does it apply to?
Well, that's a good point, too. Hey. Hey. Well, he's not the lone wolf, but that's true, though. Right? What kind of case, whoever did this, right, the perpetrators who did this, what other case would warrant the death penalty? This case would, for sure. Especially if it's true about how gruesome the crime scene was and how horrible the injuries were. Yes, the perpetrators who did this, what other case would warrant would warrant the death penalty, guys? This very case, for sure.
For sure. Precedent. Do you think it undermines future death penalty cases by making a deal so not to take it to trial?
Well, maybe.
100% it does, and this
maybe.
is a pattern for this individual.
Nothing's 100%, asshole.
My daughter and the victims in that house fought way harder
except
than
death.
Ever did. They fought for their lives. They gave every inch that they had. And
well, maybe.
He's just a weak prosecutor, and he got away with it for so long because there wasn't. You got to get on the TV. You got to do what I'm doing right now. You really have to put pressure on these people. Fortunately, he's old and he's going to retire now. This can be his last little hurrah. But I would like people to put an explanation point to his name and say, he didn't do his job. He didn't do it. He didn't listen to the people. He didn't do the will. He didn't look at the circumstances of this case. I just heard about paperwork today where Brian asked somebody, a girl, a date that he was on, and said, what can you think of the worst way if somebody could be killed? And she said stabbing, and he said, like in a K-bar. So here's a man researching
I don't believe that at all. Oh, is there documented proof of that conversation? Did she tape record that conversation? No? Well, guess what? You know what that's called, Steve? Here, should I paint a little Bozo the Clown nose on you, mutt? With my cursor here. You know what that's called? It's called he said, she said. That's what that's called. Do I put nickels over his eyes right now and send him down the river? Sticks, or do we wait a little bit longer? I don't know. I think we should put nickels over his eyes. I don't know. Maybe on his cute little button nose, like Bethany Funk. No, it's called he said, she said, moron. Unless she recorded that conversation, she could say whatever. She could say, well, we could talk about whatever we want to talk about. Anyway, that's not proof of anything either, idiot. My God.
worst way to kill someone. And Thompson can't stand up to that person.
The trial didn't happen. He's not on death row, but it was reported that he's spending, 23 hours in a solitary confinement cell. He gets 1 hour out, talking about Brian Koberger, showers every other day. When you hear about what his life is going to be like, that is going to be his day in and day out for the remainder of his life.
Oh, we'll see.
Does that provide
We'll
any
see.
sense of justice to you? I mean, what do you think of that? What do you make of that?
I'll tell you what, guys. I'll tell you what. Hey, guys, I'll tell you a thing right now. He looks much better than I did. Okay? He looks much better than I did. Well, yeah. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that.
I think that's a good, in the 23 isolation, I love that. Let him be stuck with his mind of what a failure he is. I believe that's the best we can do.
Excuse me. He's accomplished you educationally more than you ever will. Brian Koberg has accomplished more educationally than you ever will in your life. So I wouldn't call him a failure. I know you hate him. I know you're in denial. Okay? Understandable on some level. But he's not a failure. Don't call him that. In fact, if you think he's the lone wolf, well, he's actually quite successful now, wasn't he? Yeah. You want to get all twisty. Yeah, fucker.
I thought we'd ever see the death penalty, but I just wanted that isolation, and I didn't want him to sit there in the prison system and get educated and finish out his PhD.
He will.
And have influence.
He will.
We don't have the Son of Sam law in Idaho, and this guy's going to take advantage of the systems. We'll try to write a law and get it in place before
the Son of Sam was never bright, okay? Brian Koberger's bright. Son of Sam was never bright. Not that bright.
Texas and some of these other states that have figured it out, because it's an embarrassment. I love Idaho, but it's an embarrassment. People embarrassed us in front of the whole world.
Oh,
we got some work to do.
I love that conflict. I love that conflict so much. I love Idaho, but I don't. I love it, Steve. We need more of that conflict. Cognitive dissonance. Here, right here. This is where we need it. Right here. Cognitive dissonance right there. And then it's going to shoot to your eyeballs. Right? It's going to shoot down your entire face. And then you're going to start battling yourself here. Yeah, you are. And then hopefully if your denial isn't that strong anymore, you're going to have what's called a breakthrough. And then these little eyes are going to light up, and you're going to realize, ding, it's going to hit right here. Ding. Oh yeah, there's more than one person involved in these unalivings. Ding. We can hope.
And get things back on track.
Steve, my heart is going out to you and the families. This is just becoming an even more difficult situation for all of you. Thinking about you, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate the time and bringing awareness to what is happening.
Same to you, sir.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe
Oh,
below and
God.
download our Newsnation
No.
app right now on your phone. And